Yes, people, what's going on? It's Eagle Talks Football. We're back again with another video. Hope you guys are doing well today. We're going to be talking about Arsenal transfer news, and we're going to be looking at the news so you don't have to look it up yourself. And I've got some interesting stories about a potential signing for a center back position and a potential signing at the striker position. It looks like Arsenal are looking to solve those two areas, looking for a left-footed center back, another left-footed center back. Could that mean KVR could be permanently playing as a left back, or could that just mean that we're looking for another center back that's left-footed to maybe back up Gabriel Magalhaes or potentially replace Gabriel Magalhaes? I don't know why we'd sell Gabriel Magalhaes. That's just a ridiculous thought to even begin with. But I hope everyone's doing well. Do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys check out today's title sponsor, SofaScore, and the QR code is right there to download the app. But yeah, before we go any further, make sure you guys hit that like button and W's in the chat, ladies and gentlemen.
W's in the shot. W's in the shot.
So yeah, let's get straight into it, ladies and gentlemen. As today, I got some interesting stories for you guys. So let's start from the beginning. Should we begin with the current first team, or should we begin straight with the transfers? You know what? I'm gonna begin with the current first team. There's some rumors about potential signings. There's some rumors about Ben White having a heated exchange with Steve Holland. We already knew these things with the Ben White drama. We already know about all that stuff. But I'm just going to start at home and with the breaking news that Takahiro Tomiyasu has announced that he has signed a new contract until 2026. This is great news, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to see Takahiro Tomiyasu signing a new deal until 2026. This is a player who we got for cheap actually from Italy because he had injury issues. And you know something? He's had injury issues even though he's been even when he's been with Arsenal. So hopefully he can get over those injury issues. I don't know if he's going to get over them anytime soon, but unfortunately he has been riddled with injuries at his time at Arsenal. But one thing we cannot deny is that he's a quality player. And I'm happy for Arsenal to sign him up to a new deal. We're really securing our future with all these potential new signings. We've now signed Takahiro Tomiyasu, Ben White, Martin Odegaard, Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, in addition to Reece Nelson, and if I'm not mistaken, much more. So just looking at how the squad is currently constructed, we might not have to make any big signings for maybe at least 1 or 2 years. But at this moment in time, this is where we need to start winning things. And I know you guys are looking at what we need to do with that striker position, what we need to do in bringing in players in the summer. So we're going to talk about that in a second. But before we go any further, big up everyone in the chat. Let me know where you guys are watching from and what you guys are thinking. Iga, what am I saying? A few injuries leading up to the City game. You know what? This is nothing to worry about, in my opinion. Nothing to worry about. People are talking about injuries. Let me explain to you which injuries people are talking about. So they are people are discussing the injuries with the likes of Gabriel Magalhaes, if I'm not mistaken. That's the injury that everybody's really talking about, and the Ben White potential injury also. But there's some good news about the injuries. Let me show you guys what I mean. First, let's go with Timber. It looks like Timber is actually going to be back potentially. Barring any setback, Timber will return with Arsenal after the international break. So that is a massive boost to Arsenal for now until the rest of the season. Timber potentially being back, so we don't have to worry about there. W for the contract. Big up, Iga. Have you heard Neuer got injured now too? Damn. You know what? You never wish injuries on anybody, but of course, if Neuer is out, that's a massive advantage to Arsenal. We can't even lie to ourselves. But yeah, Timber's back. This is also another massive advantage to Arsenal, coming back from his cruciate ligament injury. So that is going to be a big benefit to Arsenal before we talk about anything else. Also, I don't know if you guys heard, but Bukayo Saka has a signature sauce with Nando's. Yeah, created a limited edition Nando's sauce, which is combined with his loves of barbecue tomato with the Nando's PERi-PERi. It's sweet, spicy, and smoky. The PERi-PERi Saka will be served in restaurants across the UK and Ireland today. I'm not gonna lie, I missed out. I never got to try that. A lot of people probably went just to Nando's just to go try the sauce to see what it was like. Personally, I would have liked to see if I could get some of that Saka sauce. Wait, that's a big pause. Big pause right there. But yeah, you know what I mean. I was talking about the Nando sauce. Gabriel Magalhaes is the next one everyone's talking about. Gabriel Magalhaes has withdrawn from the Brazil national squad and is a precaution with his injury, said to be bad. The player has been carrying a foot issue. The thing about Gabriel Magalhaes' injury, personally for me, I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. I look at this story and I say to myself, you know what? We're playing mind games, or we're just doing precautionary risks. I think if we played tomorrow versus Manchester City, and if the game was tomorrow, Gabriel Magalhaes would be on that pitch. I think the fact that Brazil national team is playing in friendlies and that a lot of the players have niggles and little are carrying a couple injuries, that he might be seriously injured, but it's not serious enough where he won't play the game. That's just my assumption based on how Arsenal have been doing things lately. That's just my assumption. And it's not only him. Gabriel Magalhaes, Takehiro Tomiyasu, Ben White, Partey, Gabriel Magalhaes, Gabriel Jesus, all didn't go on international duty, either because they're nursing back an injury or they have some sort of niggling injury that they need to focus on making sure they're back from. So that is great news for us for our title hunt for the rest of the season. Now, there is some news about Ben White's story with England. Interesting developments with Ben White's story with England. Let's look at this quickly. Let's look at this quickly. People, we got over 137 of you guys on TikTok, on Twitter. Do me a favor, come join us over on YouTube. It's absolutely free. It doesn't cost you a penny. And we constantly do this kind of content. You missed out on a video that I posted earlier today, and you don't see all the exclusive content on Twitter. So please do check us out. This right here is saying the Telegraph understand that there was a fallout that eventually led to Ben White coming home from England and Doha based at the World Cup in November, start of 2020. The conversation between the player and Steve Holland in front of the other members of the squad. It is described to be by sources being when Holland asked Kyle Walker a question related to Man City's performances in the previous season. And then when he asked White relating to Arsenal, said, I don't know the answer. And then it claimed Holland responded to say, because White was not satisfied and interested in football. It was at that moment ultimately led to Ben White asking to come home on October 30th. The exchange is understood to be been days before the player leaves England in Doha. Until that request has been delivered, Southgate and his staff thought there was no longer an issue between White and Holland. There was no row, no clash, no public or private between the pair. Subsequently, in initial comment from Holland, the two men did exchange views, private conversations the same day. Interesting. I wonder what that private conversation was. It must have been heated. And then White was not in the first 11 in the tournament, although it's not understood to be a key reason why he was unhappy on his part. So it looks like he got into an argument with the coach, and that is subsequently why he doesn't want to be picked for the England team. To me, I think that's fair. If you don't want to be picked for the England team because you got into a row with the coach, I fully understand that, and I think that makes a lot of sense. So I don't get why all the uproar and hoopla about it. If the guy's gotten into a beef with somebody, he's gotten into a beef with somebody. It is what it is. These things happen. People get into arguments all the time. I'm not going to friggin' go crazy about it, but it is what it is. A lot of people are really particular about England, and they really are upset that he's not going to show up for England in the upcoming games. Now, there is some other stories. Senior coaches think that myles Skelly could become a left back in the mold of Zinchenko. Interesting. So they might be training him to become a left back. If I'm not mistaken, he's a winger. So they might be training him to become a left back. Let's see where that develops, and if he starts getting games at left back. I'm not really familiar with myles Skelly's original position. Anybody who does, let me know in the chat. Where does he originally play? If I'm not mistaken, he is a midfielder, or is he a winger? It looks like he's a midfielder, if I'm not mistaken. 1 second. Yeah, he plays in the midfield. He plays in the midfield, defensive midfield, and central midfield, and he can also play as a left back. So let's see. Let's see. He hasn't played too many games at left back. It looks like he's played majority of his career as a defensive midfielder in the academy. So we're gonna have to wait and see if that develops into a young academy winger or something like that. You got the Saka Nando sauce. The Nando sauce. You see, Saka himself is loving it. Interesting. Declan Rice is TikTok, Instagram, that is. They're loving the Saka sauce. Big pause though. Well, what's next? What is this? 19-year-old from this club. I'm not too familiar with this. We're gonna have to look into that. But there was a story that I wanted to get to before we have to move on. We've spoken about Takehiro Tomiyasu. We've spoken about that. Raya is repping the Spanish national team gear. Hopefully, Raya can become the Spanish number one. Who's the Spanish keeper? Who's the number one Spanish keeper? Spain. Who's Spain's national team keeper? Who is it? It's not De Gea. So who is it? Is it the Atletico Bilbao keeper? Who is it? Depending on who it is, I want to see. The Spanish national team. It's not Kepa. It used to be Kepa. It used to be De Gea and Kepa used to fight over it. Now, who's the Spanish keeper now? I'm not even sure. Spanish national team. Let me see. The last game they played against Georgia, who was in goal? Who was their keeper? Oh, Simon. Yeah, Simon. He's the Atletico Bilbao keeper that I was talking about. Yeah, you know what? Simon might keep that position as long as his team is doing well. How's Atletico Bilbao doing? I don't really watch La Liga, so I wouldn't know. Is he doing well? Is he fit? Is he injured? What's it like? How's he doing? Because depending on how he's doing, then you're gonna know if Raya is gonna actually get a sniff. Yeah, it looks like he's been playing a lot. He's been playing a lot. So I don't know. Atletico Bilbao, how are they doing in the league? It looks like Atletico Bilbao, they're fourth in the league. So yeah, probably Raya is not going to get that Spanish number one spot. It is what it is. We also see Saka, Declan Rice reporting to England duty. If I'm not mistaken, Ramsdale is also reported to England duty. So that's going to be interesting. We got some stories about some other people. What is Arteta saying here? Arteta already making plans for the summer transfer window. Both Mikel Arteta and Edu have a clear vision on what is needed. The club will target the top level forwards and a new midfielder. They also target a new defender and are looking in the market for a new goalkeeper. That is because, of course, Ramsdale will be leaving in the summer. We are already aware Ramsdale will most likely be leaving in the summer, so that is another reason why they'll be looking for that. Good news on the Takehiro Tomiyasu signing, a lot of PR around there. If you guys don't know, Cedric is leaving finally. Cedric will be leaving the club. He literally had to stay for that paycheck. He wanted that paycheck. He did not want to leave before he got that full paycheck. So understandably so, he stuck it out for that full paycheck. Yeah, sounds mad. Yeah, I know it sounds mad. That's why I got to chill. Raya is the second keeper now. I think Raya can become the Spanish number one. I agree. But yeah, let's now move on to the big juicy stories, ladies and gentlemen. We got to move on to the big juicy one. That's another pause. What the hell is going on today? Everything I say sounds very sus. But yeah, let's get straight into it. This guy right here, Swedish international. How do you pronounce his name?
Viktor Gyökeres.
Viktor Gyökeres is emerging as an increasingly strong target for Arsenal. With the new striker being their priority in the summer, the club are yet to finalize their decision on who they will be their main target. But it is understood that they're getting information on the cost of this player, in which it would be likely around 100 million euros release clause, although still a significant cost. First things first, the source is cut offside, and cut offside tend to be like an aggregator. So they might be getting their source from Fabrizio. They might be getting their source from somewhere else. We need to see where their actual source, where they're getting the actual source from. Number two, when it comes to the price tag, it is a hefty price tag for this player. 100 million euros would be something that you'd pay for somebody who you feel like is a finished article. And in my opinion, he's still he still only has what, like, how many top seasons? He's done it in the championship, and now he's doing it in the Portuguese league. It's still not enough of a sample size for me to feel safe investing that type of money on him. Personally, for me, it feels like we're paying for another Darwin Núñez, Gonzalo Ramos. The Portuguese league tend to bring out these strikers who score 20, 30 goals on a season out of nowhere every other year. This guy scored 30 goals already this season. Credit to him. And he has another 12 assists in all competitions. So you have to give him credit. But wow, that is a ridiculous amount of money. That is a ridiculous amount of money for a player who I don't feel like is going to be that big of a I just don't look at him as an Erling Haaland. I don't look at him in the same breath as I look at Victor Osimhen. I don't look at him in the same breath as maybe even an Isak. If I view this guy as similar to one of those players who have a high ceiling, have a high potential, but you don't know what you're going to be getting 100%. One thing I do believe in, though, I believe the Arteta and the people who are making decisions at Arsenal, when they invest their money into a player, I tend to believe that more than likely they've done their due diligence. And when I hear stuff like this, that if you read this sentence right here, the club are yet to finalize their decision on who they will be their main target. That makes me feel like that this gentleman here, although we might be interested in him, seems like a a smoke screen. You know what a smoke screen is? Like when somebody is giving you information on something, but they really want to do something else. That's what this seems like. It seems like we're just buying our time for who we really want. And I don't know if we 100% are serious about spending 100 million euros on this gentleman right now. We keep hearing rumors, we keep hearing stories, but this could just be another one of those situations like when we heard about Scamacca before we signed Gabriel Jesus. Oh, Arsenal's interested in Scamacca. Arsenal's interested in Scamacca. Boom, Gabriel Jesus is done for 45 million. It's like, it just sounds like one of those smoke screens. I don't know if I 100% buy that Arsenal are seriously full throttle, full steps ahead in for this player. Because if we were, wouldn't David Ornstein be speaking about it? Wouldn't Fabrizio Romano be speaking about it? Wouldn't we be hearing more stories in regards to this, similar to how we're hearing about the Zubimendi stories? I believe the Zubimendi stories. I don't know if these stories are 100% accurate. That's my feeling. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. But that's how I feel at this moment in time with this situation. And yeah, we got over 226 of you guys watching on YouTube, on TikTok, on Twitter. 54 of you guys watching on YouTube. Do me a favor, hit that like button. W's in the chat right now. And if you guys haven't hit that like button, what are you waiting for? Michael Jordan, speak to them.
Stop it. Get some help.
Yeah, get some help. If you haven't hit that like button already, you need help. It's free. It's free. It doesn't cost nothing. Yeah, W's in the chat, people. W's in the chat.
W's in the shot. W's in the shot.
Yeah. Okay, so now we got to get to the next story. There is a couple stories that we need to discuss. So we're going to get into these quite quickly. This is on a separate page. So we've already gone through all those stories. We've gone through the striker. I'm out on him. I think it's a fake. I think it's fake at this moment in time. Of course, we heard somebody in the chat was speaking about this. Manuel Neuer pulled out of the German team due to a muscle fiber issue in his left abductor. No timetable for return yet ahead. Bayern just a few weeks. Arsenal face Bayern in just a few weeks. He could be out for the Arsenal game. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. Bayern Munich right back. Sochu Boy, who we were actually interested in earlier in the season, is a doubt for the Arsenal game also. So that's another player who could potentially be out injured. We already spoke about Tomiyasu's situation. Guys, this is major news. Major news. But the source, he is a guy who I actually believe gets more things right than wrong, in my opinion. He was one of the first people to break the Declan Rice story. He was one of the first people to break the Jesus story. Dean Jones might not have a big reputation like a Fabrizio Romano or David Ornstein, but he does get a lot of things right. And what he's saying is that Newcastle will fight to keep Alexander Isak. They know the club are looking for a new forward in Arsenal and looking to target them in the summer. Not many likely landing spots in the Prem, but Arsenal have been linked. So it's keeping the door open to the potential signing of Alexander Isak at Arsenal. That would be huge, ladies and gentlemen. That would be huge. But let's wait and see if it actually comes to light. In my opinion, Newcastle are going to do whatever it takes to get rid of Bruno Guimaraes, sell him for a good price, and not lose the likes of Botman and Alexander Isak. I don't think they want to lose those two guys. Those are two guys that they want to hold on to at any means necessary. And I fully get why they would want to do that. I fully get why they wouldn't want to lose those two guys. Ramadan Kareem, Walala, big up. Yeah, big up to you, man. I know you're a Liverpool fan, but you support the channel always. Big up to you. We've got Jesus. What is the point? He's injury prone. You know what? We're going to talk about Jesus another time. You do have a point about Jesus is injury prone, but right now we're not talking about individual players' injuries. We're kind of talking about transfers specifically. Yeah. Now, while we're talking about transfers, Mikel Arteta is expected to sign a new contract with Arsenal and is fully focused at his job at Arsenal, despite the links to Barcelona. Thank you. I cannot wait for Mikel Arteta to get a new contract. Even if we don't win the league, the future is bright with Mikel Arteta. I genuinely believe Mikel Arteta is the man for the job, and Arsenal Football Club are a better place with Mikel Arteta here, and we should hold on to him with whatever we can. Give him a new 4-year deal, have him secure, and understand that the likes of Bayern Munich, the likes of Barcelona, the likes of PSG, the likes of even somebody in the Premier League would love the opportunity to sign a Mikel Arteta if they could. We need to hold on to him. With Mikel Arteta, I trust, and I genuinely believe a lot of fans who were questioning Mikel Arteta have turned their tune and should start believing in the manager and what he's been able to do so far. This man in what is it, 3.5 years or 4 years, if you want to put it, whatever way you want to put it, has been able to take a team that was mid-table, struggling to get back into the Champions League, to now one of the best teams in Europe and one of the best teams in the Premier League. We now need to go and deliver and win trophies, but I do believe he's that guy who can get us to those trophies. And we are definitely going to be giving him a new contract very, very soon. So yeah, that is another situation right there. Now, moving on to the final story of the day. I'm not sure if you guys know too much about this guy, but Nottingham Forest faced the battle of trying to keep their best players. With the risk of relegation plus points deductions, you have a situation where this gentleman here, what is his name? How do I pronounce his name? Let me see. Murillo is a 21-year-old Brazilian international center back who's left-footed, who originally played for Corinthians, if I'm not mistaken, and was born in St. Paulo. This is a guy who recently went to Nottingham Forest and has been scouted by all the top clubs. Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, all interested in him. All the top clubs. Newcastle is also interested in him. Amongst Premier League sides, other people are monitoring his situation. Arsenal are also monitoring his situation. This could be another left-footed center back to join Arsenal Football Club. You know, Mikel Arteta loves his left-footed center backs. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens with this. To me, I'm looking at his price tag. What would his price tag be? If I'm not mistaken, he recently moved to Forest for how much money? He moved to Forest for 9 million in October of 2023. So could he go for now 25 million plus? It's an interesting move. 25 million plus. That's what they're saying. 25 million euros. That's what they're saying. That would be his transfer fee potentially. This is a guy who can play as a left-footed center back and a right-footed center back, but he is left-footed. He originally played for Corinthians. He came through the Corinthians Academy. He's played 23 games in the Premier League this season, and he's played 4 games in the FA Cup. He's been a stalwart in that team. personally for me, I haven't looked out for him. If we are going to get a center back, I would still be more interested in Everton's Braithwaite because he is homegrown and he looks like the real deal. But if this is another option that Arsenal's looking at to strengthen the depth in defense wins you leagues, guys. Offense wins you games, defense wins you leagues. So if we can continue to strengthen our defense, we could see ourselves in a very good situation. But yeah, that's it for today, really. Not too much more to talk about. But the main things are the striker situation, if we could get Isak, or if we could get the other Swedish guy that plays for Sporting. In addition to that, we have the big story that just broke with Ben White and Steve Rowland, giving us more details on that situation. All those phonies, JD, Iceman, and Cedric are better. Really? This guy's saying we should invest in Iceman. Who's JD Iceman? I'm confused. I am so confused. Who are you talking about, bro? Which competition do you think you have a better chance of winning, Premier League or UCL? Honest truth, I think we have a better chance of winning the Premier League. That's my honest truth. Egal, VTNT Saturdays. Tune in. Moss Sport. Yeah, big up to you, bro. Big up to you. How many How many good Nottingham players have you watched? How many good how good is that Nottingham Forest guy? Have you watched him? To be honest, bro, I haven't watched him too well. I've watched Nottingham Forest, but you know what? I don't really keep an eye out for players until we're linked to them. So now that we're linked to him, I'm going to keep an eye on him. We do have 10 games remaining in the Premier League, and I do watch a lot of the Premier League games. So I'll keep an eye on Nottingham Forest, and I'll keep an eye on him. But I do think Braithwaite is a lot better. But yeah, let's see what happens. He does look like a very bulky, strong guy. Isak is too injury prone, plus the Premier League tax. I will tell you right now, Jonathan David is ass. Bro, I'm telling you, I'm Canadian. I actually have a Jonathan David Canada kit in my closet. No way in hell are we spending any money on Jonathan David. You give me Jonathan David. I'm telling you right now, he's going to be worse than Darwin Núñez, worse than Cody Gakpo. I'm sorry. Bro, then you're saying I'm not Canadian. Bro, I don't ride for Jonathan David, bro. I'm going to keep it real with you. Fabrizio has been trying to get that guy moved to another club for the longest time. It's not happening. He's not that guy. He is not that guy, bro. He's not that guy. Xerxes, though, Xerxes is a good backup. He's not a starter for me. He's not a starter for me. He's a backup. He's not a starter for me. That's just the honest truth. It's just the honest truth. Yeah, Alphonso Davies is the best Canadian by far. By far. Iceman's that guy. No, he's not, bro. No, he's not. Both feet clinical. He wasn't clinical in the World Cup. I'll tell you that for sure. We need Olise. I don't know if we're going to get Olise. I don't think so. Manchester United are in for Seko. Let them have him. I watched Saku. I watched all his Champions League games. He's not imposing enough, doesn't really take control of the game. You need to play to his strengths, and he doesn't really take the ball in the game by the scruff of the neck, in my opinion. So I'm out on him. But yeah, guys, I gotta go. I've recently released some hot videos on my channel, in the sense that there was a crazy debate yesterday. You have to go check it out. If you ever want to check that out, make sure you guys do subscribe to Eagle Talks Football if you are watching on X. And if you're also watching on YouTube right now, do me a favor, hit that like button on the way out. And we will be going over to my boy Saad's channel, as I'm going to be doing a show on his channel right now, talking about Kimmich, links, title race, Gabriel Magalhaes, Bayern, all this stuff. So go check us out over there. And yeah, we're out of here, people. You guys already know what it is. Love for the love. I'll catch you guys on the next one, as you guys already know how we do things over here. Anything else that you guys need to ask me, let me know on Twitter, or even ask me on YouTube whenever you get a chance. But of course, I just need to ask this guy for the link. Well, let me get this. Where is the link? Question mark. Let's get that link. Let's get that link sorted. In the meanwhile, I'll tell you guys this, guys. I'm trying to get tickets to that Bayern game. If I go to that Bayern game, it's going to be interesting. Also, I'm going to get a Bayern Munich fan on for you guys because I know you guys like seeing fans from other rival clubs. So that's going to be interesting. Big up, pal. You need to watch Lil. I did watch Lil. I've watched Lil. I used to big up Jonathan David, but he let me down. And then after I noticed that you're a fraud, I don't take you serious like that anymore. Just how it is. That's just how I am. It's just how I am. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. I'll catch you guys in the next show. And this was a quick Arsenal transfer news video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Peace.